Hey everybody, time to rise and shine today. We do have a few more minutes just to let everyone else who is joining us this morning get online and onto the link. So you can take a few minutes, get yourself situated. If you have any blocks or makeshift blocks with you, you can grab those. Also, it's nice if you have like a pillow or something like that. And then if you like, you can lie back, relax, and we will be going in about 2 minutes. Thanks. Good morning. As we begin our practice today, I'll invite you to come to a seated position. You can sit up onto a block or a pillow, and it may feel most comfortable to have your back against the wall for some added support. Setting yourself up in that comfortable position with the spine nice and tall. We'll take the palms out towards the knees, and you can turn the palms up towards the sky. You could turn them down towards the knees, or maybe like a little half and half, deciding where your body feels best today. And then focusing your attention on your pelvis. Noticing if your tendency is to sit back towards the back of your pelvis. If it's to sit forward out in front of your pelvis. And doing your best to find a space, neither all the way back nor all the way forward, but somewhere back in the middle. Noticing that the ribs can settle over the pelvis in that way. That your diaphragm at the bottom of the ribs and the pelvic floor can begin to interact with each other. That we find that space between the two that with every inhale and expansion, the breath fills the lungs and the pelvic floor can relax. And then as you exhale, the air leaves your lungs and you find a place that the pelvic floor can lift up. This may seem odd in the beginning, so taking some time to come into that breathing and the balance of the diaphragm and the pelvic floor together. So on an inhale, your pelvic floor relaxes, the air comes in. And as you exhale, the pelvic floor lifts and the air leaves. Taking a few more breath rhythms like that, focusing on the balance, the fullness, and the ability to both engage and release the pelvic floor. Notice the quality of the breath today. As your breath becomes more focused, noticing any intention or focus that comes up for your practice today. Is there something that you need today? Is there something that you would like to cultivate or bring into your life today through your practice? Is there someone that you would like to offer or dedicate your time and practice to? And that one can be two-legged or four-legged, one-legged, no-legged, here on this earth, or passed on. Is there someone who steps forward in your mind? Can you offer your time and your breath to their well-being? That they might have what they need, that they might rest well. Fluttering your eyes open now. On an inhale, taking both arms, reaching them up towards the sky. Make some circles in your wrists. You can reach a little more from the right arm, a little more from the left arm. Stretch and reach to the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Reverse the circles. Keep reaching out a little further. And then releasing your arms at your sides. If you're sitting against the wall, just moving away from the wall now so you have space behind you to create some movements. You can return back onto your mat. And then once you have settled there again, lowering your chin down into your chest, taking your right ear towards your right shoulder. Relax the shoulders down. Find a lengthening in your spine. Lowering your chin back down into your chest. Your left ear towards your left shoulder. In the same way, the spine stays nice and tall. The left ear goes towards the left shoulders, and the shoulders relax down. They can still rest. Lowering your chin back down into your chest, a few gentle circles in the neck. And then reversing the opposite direction. And coming back to center. Sitting up nice and tall. Taking your left hand back behind your hips and your right hand towards that left knee. Sitting up nice and tall, long spine, inhale. Exhale, turn to look over your left shoulder, maybe a little more. Coming back through center. Finding the same stretch on the opposite side. The right hand comes behind you. The left hand reaches towards the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall, big inhale. Exhale, turning to look over the right shoulder. Coming back to center. One more time, sitting up nice and tall, big inhale. Exhale, turn to look over the left shoulder, the right hand towards the left knee. Coming back through center. Opposite side, left hand to the right knee. Right hand behind you, big inhale. Exhale, rotating. And then back to center. Now removing the block or bolsters from underneath. Coming toward a tabletop position, facing the top of your mat. You can take those blocks and put them off to the side. Ground the hands down underneath the shoulders. On an inhale, looking up, letting the belly drop down, arching your back. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. If you like, you can add that breathing where you inhale, the belly drops, the pelvic floor relaxes. As you exhale, the pelvic floor engages, the belly draws in, and you push the mat away. Inhale, look up, belly drops, pelvic floor releases. Exhale, rounding the spine, pelvic floor engages, belly draws in. One more like that. Inhale, look up. Exhale and round. Now beginning to move the spine in all different directions. Can you move it maybe like it's a figure 8? Or like a jump rope. Allowing the weight to move maybe back towards the knees or forward to your fingers. Coming back through center, that tabletop position. Tucking your toes under, pressing through the palms, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. allowing movements to come into the knees. You bend one knee and straighten the opposite leg. And then reverse it. So the one knee bends, one knee straightens. And then come up high onto your tippy toes. Press your chest back towards your thighs, reach your sit bones to the sky. And then pressing the heels back down towards the earth. Walk your feet halfway up the mat. Walk the hands halfway back towards your feet. Allow the knees to soften and the chest to rest down on the thighs. So creating a connection by bending those knees as much as you need to. You can take the fingers and place them around the elbows. Let the elbows swing forward and the head to hang down. In this position, you can gently rock the body forward and back, or left and right. You can create a little more straightening in the legs, but make sure that the chest and thighs stay touching. Can you pull your heels away from each other as you work towards straightening the legs, keeping the connection, chest to the thighs. Drawing the chin in just a little more. Taking the hands back down onto the earth, walk it out. Downward facing dog. So the hands go forward, the feet go back. And then lowering the knees down onto the earth, sitting your hips back towards your heels. Child's pose. On an inhale, rising up, tabletop position. Inhale, look up, let your belly drop down, arch the back. Exhale and round, chin into the chest, pressing the ground away. Inhale, come back, tabletop position. Tucking the toes under, extend the right leg back behind you, and lift it up and off the mat, keeping the hips even and the belly drawn in. Only lift the leg as high as you can, keeping that right glute engaged, the belly in, and the left arm reaching forward nice and long. Inhaling, extending and reaching out. Exhale and draw the elbow and knee together underneath you, rounding your spine. Inhale, extend, reach. Exhale and draw it in, elbow and knee together. Again, inhale, extend, reach out long. Exhale and draw it in, elbow and knee together, pelvic floor lifts. Inhale, extend, draw it out long. And then bending into that right knee, your heel towards your glute. You can reach back and maybe get a hold of that foot. Regardless, you have that heel pulling back towards your glute, lifting that leg up as high as you can. And if you have your foot kicking into it, to lift up a little higher. Releasing that arm and leg back out nice and long. And returning your hand and knee back down onto the mat, tabletop position. Inhale, look up, letting your belly drop down and arch the back. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. Coming back to center, your tabletop position. This time, extending the left leg back behind you. Lifting that left leg up into the air, the belly draws in. Extending the right arm out nice and long. Holding there. Reach out a little further from the heel and the fingers. Big inhale. Exhale, draw it together. Elbow and knee rounding. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw the elbow and knee together. Round it out. Again, inhale, extend. Exhale, and round. Inhale, extend. Heel towards your glute. Right arm reaches back, maybe getting a hold of that foot. Kicking into the foot, finding that lift in the chest. And then releasing the arm and leg back out, nice and long. Hand and knee back down onto the mat, tabletop position. Inhale, look up, let your belly drop down. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. And then with those toes tucked under, lifting the knees, hips towards the sky, downward facing dog. Allowing your head to shake yes, and then no. Walking the feet forward, halfway up the mat. Allow your knees to bend deeply, your chest to rest out on the thighs. Interlacing the fingers behind your back. Bend your elbows a lot. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and then reach the arms up towards the sky. Do your best to press those palms together, chest and thighs touching. And then working to straighten the legs, but only as much as the chest and thighs stay connected. Press those pinkies into an imaginary wall behind you. One more breath. Releasing the palms. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, sitting your butt back, Utkatasana, that chair pose. Exhale all the way to standing. Reach up, find a back bend. And then bring your hands back to center. On an inhale, take both arms and reach them up towards the sky, finding that little stretch back. As you exhale, forward folding, chest to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold, grounding the palms down. Stepping back, a plank position. From plank, pushing forward off the toes, lower down. Chaturanga Dandasana. The knees can lower, or you can touch down to the floor. Inhale, lifting. Baby cobra, teenage cobra, or tall cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, walking the feet forward towards the hands, coming to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing, reaching your arms up overhead, a little back bend. And exhale, returning your hands back to heart center. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Grounding the hands in, stepping back to a plank, and slow lowering chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, lifting. Tall cobra or up dog. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. On an inhale, looking forward, walk the feet, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing, reaching up a little back bend. And returning your hands back to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, grounding the palm down, stepping back to plank position. Pushing forward off the toes, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, lifting. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward and walk the feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing, a little back bend at the top. And returning your hands back to center. Inhale, bend the knees, sit in those. The butt back, the chest lifts up and draw your low belly in. Arms reach up to the sky, Utkatasana. Exhale as you fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthening in the spine. Exhale, grounding the palms down, stepping back and slow lowering, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lifting, tall cobra or up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Taking the right leg lifted up in the air, three-legged down dog, bend the knee and opening your hip. Pull the heel towards your glute and lift the knee to the sky, pressing the left heel down to the earth. Stepping that right foot forward between the hands. Back heel spins down. Rising up, warrior one. Exhale, take the hands down. Step back and slow lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog or tall cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lifts up. Step it through between the hands. Spinning your back heel down. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one. Exhale, hands down. Step back and slow lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lifting up dog, tall cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Pressing through the hands, reaching your sit bones up towards the sky. Gently wag the tail left and right. Create any movements that you like in the knees. Press and reach through the hands. Walking the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way to standing. Reach up a little back bend. And returning the hands back to heart center. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms to the sky, Uttanasana. Exhale as you fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, stepping back and lowering, Chaturanga Dandasana, or all the way to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, teenage cobra, or tall cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. The right leg lifts up into the air, three-legged down dog, bend the knee and open in the hip. Step the right foot through between the hands and rising up, warrior one. Opening it up, warrior two. Take your time, widen the footprint. Check in with the legs. That left hip, the back leg, can you draw that hip back so it's in line with your ankle? And then rolling that right thigh open, the belly stays drawing in. The arms reach out to the sides. You can roll all the way from the arm bone up in the shoulder, roll them down the back. Maintain the shoulders as you turn the wrists down towards the floor and look out over the right fingertips. Turning the right palm up towards the sky, big inhale. Exhale, reverse the warrior. The right arm reaching overhead and in a diagonal. Get as far out as you can. On an inhale, come back through center, warrior two. And then exhale, your right elbow down to the floor, the left arm overhead in a diagonal. As you press down into that right shoulder, mindful that everything doesn't sag to the floor, but that you squeeze and lift, the ribs lifting to the sky. Maybe you look up and out over those fingertips. You can look towards the floor or straight ahead. But keep your drishti steady, your focus steady. On an inhale, rising back up to center, warrior two. And then straightening in the front leg, keeping that right leg straight, turn the right palm to the sky. And reach up and back, a diagonal line from the right fingers all the way down to the right toes. And then inhale back through center. Turning the right toes towards the left edge of the mat. Bending a little in your knees, sitting your butt back. Your hands can come down onto those knees. Keep sticking your butt up towards the sky, and then the hands down onto the block or the earth. Shifting your weight forward towards the toes and allowing your head to hang down. We're only straightening the legs as much as it feels right here. Keeping the spine long and the crown of the head reaching towards the floor. You can walk the fingers back in line with the toes. Drawing the crown of the head down and the sit bones up to the sky. On an inhale, half lift. Bring your right hand down onto the earth. Take your left hand to your left hip and start to turn to look over your left shoulder. The left arm reaching up in a diagonal from that line. The right hand down, the left arm up towards the sky. Bringing your left hand back down onto the earth. The left hand goes underneath the heart space. Your right hand to your right hip and turning in the chest. The right arm reaches up towards the sky. You press to the left hand. Coming back through center, both hands down. Inhale, hands at the hips, holding there. Squeeze the legs together, rise all the way to stand. Turning the right toes back towards the front of the room. Bending into the knee, take your hands down to the floor and step back to a plank position. Lowering down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lifting, upward facing dog or tall cobra. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. The left leg lifts up towards the sky. Lifting the left hip, the heel towards your glute, and lifting the knee, pressing the heel down, reach. And then stepping that left foot through between the hands. Back heel spins down, rise up, warrior one. And then opening it up, warrior two. So here you can take time, set up your wider stance. Pulling that right hip back in line with the ankle. The left thigh bone rolling out. And your belly drawn in. With those arms out to the sides, once again, we'll roll the shoulders down the back. Maintaining the shoulders, turning the palms back to the floor. Good, reaching out through the fingers as you squeeze in the shoulders. Turn the left palm up to the sky. Inhale. And then exhale, reversing, reaching from the hip out through those left fingers. The ribs reaching up towards the sky. On an inhale, coming back through center. And this time the left elbow down onto the left knee. Good, you can turn your chest towards the sky. And the right arm reaches up or in a diagonal. Reaching from the right fingers to the right hip, to the right sole of the foot, a long line. Keeping the body lifted as you press down into the earth with the feet and the left elbow. On an inhale, rising back up to center, that warrior two, and straightening in the front leg. Turning your left palm up towards the sky and reaching long from the left fingers to the left foot, a long line. And then inhale back through center. Turning the left toes to the long edge of the mat. Finding the space to bend deeply into the knees. The hands down on the knees and to try to arch in the low back to create as much length in the spine as you can. Your hands come down towards the earth in line with the toes. The weight shifts forward And keep the spine long as you work towards straightening the legs. This time as you inhale and half lift, identify the left leg and walk both hands towards the left. Keep those heels out, toes in, and then forward folding over the right leg. Coming back through center, walking the hands over the opposite side so the toes stay, the heels stay, and we walk the hands towards the right leg. Leaning your weight forward still towards the toes. Good, coming back through the center on an inhale, half lift. Exhale, squeezing the legs together, rise all the way to stand. Turning the left toes back towards the front of the mat. And cartwheeling your hands down towards the floor. Back heel lifts up, step back, a plank position. And exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Good. Resting there for a moment. So in this position, you can stack one hand on top of the other. The forehead down onto the palms. Relaxing the shoulders and then the hips. Can you find the rhythm of the breathing in this position where the diaphragm moves down and the pelvic floor relaxes? So as you inhale, your pelvic floor releases. And as you exhale, you create that engagement. Now bringing your forehead down to the floor. Your hands alongside the body. Inhale, prepare, release in the pelvic floor. Exhale, empty out completely. Create that engagement and hold there. Maintaining that engagement on an inhale, lift up. Your locust pose, the hands alongside the body. You can lift the legs. Maintaining that engagement of the low belly, the pelvic floor. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Lift up. And exhale, releasing back down to the floor. Releasing all the muscles in the back, the shoulders, the hips. Bringing the forehead back down towards the floor. Taking your fingertips and touching your ears. Lift the elbows up so that they're in line with the shoulders. Inhale, prepare, release. Exhale, create the engagement of the pelvic floor. The low belly lifts in and up. Maintain that as you inhale. Lift the chest, lift the elbows. Maybe lift the feet, lift, lift, lift. And then releasing back down to the floor. Take a rest, release the cheek to the mat. Relax the shoulders, relax the back. Relax the hips and the legs. Feel your breath move through you. Rolling yourself over now onto the back. Taking the right ankle over the left knee and drawing that left thigh towards the chest. If that feels like too much stretch this morning, the left leg can stay down. You could press the right knee out to the right side. If you'd like a little more, that leg coming in and interlacing the fingers behind that left thigh would be great. Or over the shin on the left side. And then carefully releasing the left leg, returning it back down onto the floor. Then the right foot down onto the floor. This time the left ankle crosses over the right knee. You can use the left hand to press that left knee out to the left, away from the body. This is a perfectly great place to stay today. But if you'd like a little bit more sensation, drawing that knee into the chest and interlacing behind the thigh or over the shin can help intensify the sensation. But more is not always better. So we feel out where's the best spot on this side today. Carefully releasing your right foot back down onto the floor. And then the left leg down. Taking the soles of the feet a little wider than hips distance apart. And the knees to fall together. Bringing the feet together. And as the feet come together, the knees can fall out to the sides. If you like to use the pillows or blocks to support the legs, you can. Bringing the knees back in towards each other. You can use the hands to help guide the knees back up. Separating the feet hips distance apart and finding a lift in the hips for a bridge pose. You can use your block to support the low back so that this bridge is a restorative posture where the pelvis rests on the block. The weight of your body can get heavy, and you can adjust the height of the block to find the amount of back bend that you would like to find in this pose today. Without a block, you can bring those shoulders underneath you a little further and maybe use the hands to create that space, to lift your hips up and to create a support. From wherever you decide, see if you can maintain that position, moving or creating adjustments for any feelings of sharpness or pain. We're moving that block carefully by pressing the soles of the feet down, sliding that block or support out from underneath you, and then carefully bringing the hips down to the floor. If you're very high, you may want to come to a middle or lower position before you come all the way down. And then separating the feet once again a little wider than the knees. Allow the knees to fall together and find a place for the body to rest. Bringing the feet back towards each other. Option to cross the right knee over the left knee, taking the right knee over towards the right side. If crossing the knees feels like too much intensity, don't cross them, but keep the knees together and allow them to fall towards the left. The right arm out towards the right. Reaching the right hip down towards the bottom of the mat. And the right shoulder up into the right, so that you get as long as possible on that right side. And then bringing the legs back through center, unwinding in the legs, and rewinding so that the left knee comes over the right. Allowing the knees to fall over to the right side. And once again, if crossing the knees doesn't feel good, bring both knees to the right, uncrossed, so that the left is on top of the right. Create that length and space on the left side of the body so that the left hip pulls down and towards the right as the left shoulder reaches left and up towards the top of the mat. Bring the legs back through center, unwinding in the legs, drawing the knees into the chest and the hands inside the knees, grabbing onto the soles of the feet, drawing those knees down and wide, rocking the body, maybe left and right, or staying perfectly still. Bring the legs back in. Draw the knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around the legs. Pull your chin into your chest. Lift up. Squeeze. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then exhale, releasing your final Shavasana. You're welcome to stay in this Shavasana as long as you like. So you can stop the video now, find that place to relax and stay in your Shavasana. If you're staying with us, we'll lift the body up, set it down. We'll stay here for a few minutes, allowing the mind to focus on the air coming in and out of the body, and using that to bring us back to the present moment. Anytime the mind takes us into an event in the future or one in the past, Beginning to breathe life back into the fingers and the toes. Moving in your wrists, ankles. Give yourself a big, long stretch. Fingers to toes. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Sole of the left foot down onto the floor. Rolling yourself over onto your right side. Coming to rest there for a moment. Using the strength in your hands to rise all the way up to your seated position. Keeping your eyes closed. And bringing your hands to heart center. Closing our practice here together. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this.